Hey guys, this is John here with lifeofpretty.com and johnclarke.site. So wanted to reach out to you today. First thing I'd ask you to do is go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel for more. Go ahead and share this, please. Love to have more people take a look. I'll drop a link to the site as well down in the actual description comments of the box. So one of the things I want to talk today is we're obviously still dealing with all this COVID-19 mess and everything. And one of the critical things that we can do is to learn to reduce stress. So I know everybody in this day and time is just stressed over what's going on in the world, want to know when people are getting back to work and when our life resumes as normal. So I want to go over 14 different ways that we can use to work on our coping skills. And how you deal with the stress of life really depends on what kind of coping skills you've got. So unhealthy coping skills, they're going to hold you back. Finding positive coping skills, those can really help you and make it easier to reach your goals. So having these strategies can also make it easier to break the habits like emotional eating and overspending and things that are obviously happening when we're in the situation like we're in now. It does take some practice. There's some things you can do right now. There's some that you actually may need to build into and develop skills to do them. So some of the things that you can do right here, right now, I'll list 7 of each. Just make it simple for you. Exercising regularly, whether it is just going outside, putting on a mask and walking right now, physical activity is one of the best ways to beat stress. So you can go to your local gym once they're open again. You know, if you're at home, there's plenty of YouTubes out there for how to exercise, how to work out, and how to do those things at home. You can simply do anything from walk in place, do some push-ups if you can. If you have that treadmill like mine that's been holding things up around the house, everything from clothing to whatever, go ahead and break it out and begin to use that and see if you can just get a little bit of time in. If it's something as simple as riding the exercise bike, that's one of the things that I personally love to do. Go ahead and do that. And also express your creativity. Great way to deal with the stress right now. My big thing is pyrography. I spent a little bit of money on Amazon. I think it was like 15 bucks or something for a pen to be able to do that, the little pyrography pen. And I spent about $10 or $12 on some wood pieces and everything. And I basically trace out designs and put them on there. And it's just really given me some artwork to go around the house. I'm starting to run out of room to actually put the artwork around the house, but it actually does look pretty neat. So stress can make it difficult to think clearly. So don't be scared to expand your options. You know, if you're stuck, re-examine the choices that you're making. You know, don't waste too much energy on insignificant issues, especially right now when we're kind of trapped in the same environment. It can be really beneficial to you just to go ahead and reevaluate what's important and what's not. So another thing to know is that sometimes we need to take a break and we need to keep it simple. You know, lower your expectations. Are you wasting too much energy on the insignificant issues? Go ahead and take a look. Is this really worth investing my time in? And don't let those things frustrate you. I, One of the things that I'm passionate about, and I actually have my own publishing company, clarkejournals.com, that starting a journal is one of the best things you can do. Recording your thoughts. There's really no wrong way to journal. But take a little bit of time every day. You can reflect on the day, reflect on tomorrow. I always recommend that people find at least 3 to 5 things that they're grateful for, even if it's small things like, you know, hey, it was a pretty day outside and I got a little bit of fresh air. You know, I got my stimulus check or whatever it is. Just to be able to journal those things can make a huge difference. The other thing I can tell you right now, Netflix binging is huge right now. It has been in my family too. I watched the entire 3 seasons of Riverdale in the last week and a half or so. And, you know, I actually can't believe I watched the end of the 3rd season, but, you know, for those who love Riverdale, so be it. Try to take a break from the screen time. And I know with options somewhat limited, being on the computer, the games, the phone, the TV, all those things can be very, very easy to do when there's not as many options. But try to take a break. You know, watch out for the social media time and quit trying to compare yourself to others. It's easy to forget that a lot of times people only post their best and the great things on social media. Don't compare yourself against what you're seeing there. A lot of times it's not even accurate. And one other thing you can do is actually seek distractions. Find something like soft music or something. Don't be tempted to grab a bottle of something you shouldn't be drinking or binge eating or anything else. Find something to distract you. Maybe there's something around the house that you've been meaning to fix and putting off. And just go ahead and do that. Take a little bit of time, work on that, and see if the urge passes. A lot of times, if you're binge eating, from what I've read, a lot of times you're really thirsty. So try drinking a bottle of water and seeing if you still feel the same way afterwards. Some coping skills, though, you may need to develop over time. It's easy to say that you do it one time and you're going to be set. That's not always the case. One thing I do recommend to a lot of people is just live mindfully. So whether you do meditation or mindfulness exercises, a grounding exercise, if you don't know what a grounding exercise is, uh, typically what I recommend to people is take just a moment to get focused on the here and now. Find 5 things to see around you, 4 things to touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It's a great grounding exercise. It'll bring you right back here in the moment. So that way you're not focusing on something that's behind you, that's still troubling you, something that's in the future that really is undecided to this point. So worrying about all those things can cause a lot of additional stress. And if you focus on the present moment, it can really help you remain calm. Another thing is, this is a great time to focus on growth. What areas of your life, is there a course that you've been meaning to take or something you've been wanting to try and do? So kind of scale those, look at them. Don't be afraid to fail at them. If you make a mistake, this is not my first YouTube channel, by the way. I'm just restarting with another one, learning how to work the YouTube interface and really see if I can get people to take a look at what I'm talking about, because you learn things from your failure. So don't be scared of that. So focus on growing, focus on making things work. When you make the mistakes, learn the lesson from it and keep moving forward. Also, take some time to evaluate your risks. So some of the things that we do, especially, and I look at myself, I'm no skinny guy by any stretch. I will not pretend that I am. And I'm trying to learn to handle my food intake a little bit better, not eat as much when I'm stressed. I used to have a problem with alcohol, and thank God I've been sober now for several years. And those kinds of things, when we look at the decisions in the short term, those are really things that can actually help. You eat something, you kind of feel a little bit better. Long term, we know the results of long-term drinking, bad for your kidneys, bad for your overall health, and very expensive habit, by the way. The binge eating, you put on more weight. There are negative effects to the things that happen to us. So evaluate those risks. If it's something that's going to be too risky, it may provide short-term reward, but you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? And sometimes you just have to embrace change. This has been a great learning lesson for a lot of people here, that things we take for granted, being able to go out when we want, go hang out at the restaurant when we want, all these things that we can no longer do. Sometimes we just have to embrace that there are changes. So one of the best things you can do right now is find alternate ways. Like I said, if you're used to going out and jogging or taking long walks outside and you can't do it right now, find something you can do inside for some exercise. Just take the time, take the change that's there, and see how you can make that something that you can actually work with. So another good thing is, right now, especially as we're not able to get into our standard routines of what we do, is create a routine, especially if you're home and you're in this unexpected circumstance. Go ahead and create a routine, create something that's for you, create a timeline that you do certain things during the day, so that you're not just sitting around. When we're sitting around with absolutely no goal, no ambition, nothing that we're really focused on, that's when we fall prey to the depression, the anxiety that goes along with it. If we have some kind of routine that we're following, it definitely helps us throughout the day, and that takes practice. Another thing is family and friends. It's important to stay connected. No matter how you look at it, being connected with those around you, whether it's a phone call, if it's FaceTime or Skype or whatever it is, your family at home, take time as a family and just sit around and talk. The supportive relationships. We are social beings by nature. Even if you're an introvert like I am, I still cherish my family time. I call to my family back home, which is about 800 miles from where I am now. And you can talk about sensitive issues. You can just stay in touch with people, and just part of being human. It's just a good thing to do. So don't isolate yourself. It won't help you in any respect. Another thing you can do is consider counseling or coaching. So that I know that I do see therapists myself, and my therapist is doing these online sessions right now. And if you have the insurance and the ability to do that, that's great. There are coaches out there who can help point you in another direction. I am an actual certified coach as well. Feel free to reach out to me through johnclarke.site if you want to touch base on that. And I'm not trying to sell service here by any stretch, but I'm saying if you have the ability to do it and you feel like it would benefit you, reach out and get counseling. Reach out and talk to a coach. Just talk to somebody. Don't let the depression and anxiety of being in the situation eat at you. There are options for you, and just don't feel like you're being overwhelmed. So just like the current situation, you can't really avoid difficult situations. It's just something that we can't avoid. What you can do is you can choose your reaction. So these things are happening to us. This is a reality. And how do I want to react? So develop your own set of coping skills. Develop something that's going to work for you, and just go ahead and make the change. So what I've actually done, I actually created this into a downloadable form as well. I'm going to put it at the johnclarke.site. If you just go there, like I said, I'll drop the link below. Go ahead and check it out. You can actually download that completely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And you can have a nice printout of these as well, just so you have some good ideas of some things you can do to make small changes in your life. Feel free to reach out, leave a comment. Go ahead, like I said, like, subscribe, and share this with anyone you can think of that would benefit from it. I do appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful day.